Hey everyone, this is Rich. Welcome back to the channel. If you're new to the channel, thanks for clicking on my video. Really appreciate it. And if you like what you see, hit the like button or subscribe. Today we're going to be working on my Stihl leaf blower. I got a BR550 that has stopped working, and so I'm trying to need to troubleshoot and figure out what's wrong with it and go ahead and try and repair it and get it working again before the fall season really kicks into gear and I need to use this for blowing leaves. So for these 2-cycle small engines, and basically any carbureted engine, you got 3 things that you need to make sure that you have to get it running. So you need air, fuel, and spark. So let's go ahead and just kind of walk through what we need to look for to make sure that we're getting air and getting fuel and whether or not we're getting spark. And that'll kind of determine where we need to repair it. So let's go ahead and start pulling things apart. So the first thing to do is we need to go ahead and remove, there's 2 bolts here. There's a screw here and a screw here that we need to remove. And this is a handy tool to use for making minor repairs because it gives you basically all the tool you're going to need for most things. This is for the spark plug. So it came with the blower, so I just kept it because I knew it was just a nice handy tool to have. So we just want to remove these screws. And one on the bottom so we can access okay. So now that that's off, we can pull this filter off and take a look at it and see if it's in decent shape. And it's still in pretty good shape, so I don't necessarily think that there's anything obstructing the air side of things. So the next thing is to look at the fuel. And actually the button seems to be working because I know this is full and I know it's sucking gas up into the bubble because I can see it filling up. So it's getting pressurized. So it's gotta be on the spark side, and that's what I'm leaning towards. But one way to be able to check it is I've already unscrewed this spark plug. And you can kind of check to see if it's getting any spark by kind of putting it up against the casting of it and then pulling this to see if you get any spark. And I'm not getting anything. So it's either the spark plug, which really doesn't look all that bad. It looks to be in pretty decent shape, if you can see that. It's not all that bad. And you would see it arcing. Let's see if I can get you a good look at. Look down in here to see if the spark is coming. Yeah, I'm not seeing it. Oh yeah, there is a spark there. So that's sparking, but it's intermittent. So what I think we need to do, I'm not getting it. I'm getting it sometimes, but I'm not getting it other times. I think it either might be the coil or the spark plug is not getting a good connection. So we're going to go ahead and replace this coil because it's not being very consistent. And the problem that I've been running into is that sometimes it'll start and other times it won't, and it'll run for a little while and then it'll quit. And I was like thinking that it was bad gas or something like that, but this last time that I tried running it, it just wouldn't start at all. I couldn't get it to start. So I kind of think it's the coil because I can smell the gasoline. I think it's getting gasoline in there. It's just not getting the spark that it needs to fire this thing up. The coil is inside here, so we got to pull this this plastic cover off, unfortunately. And so we need to remove all of this stuff. So let's go ahead and begin pulling all these screws out. And I'm going to go ahead and kind of go in fast motion here to get this done. Okay, now we need to remove, there's a screw here, and then there's two screws that are in the back underneath here, and you have to kind of put your tool, put that kind of screwdriver type tool in here to get it. It's kind of buried in there, but you can see it. So we need to remove this coil pack. So to do that, we need to take these screws out and then unplug this. So I'm going to go ahead and unplug this first. So it's just a matter of popping this off. Okay, now we can go ahead and loosen these. Okay. Now you'll have to remove this screw. There's a plastic washer here that's kind of like a little spacer, and then you have this other, basically a washer, but then it's a connection point for that plug. And we can go ahead and remove this. And this is the original one. I've never changed this. So it's lasted a pretty good long time, because I've had this thing for a number of years. It's been, gosh, at least 15 years. So this coil pack's done the job for for multiple seasons. And I've got a lot of trees. I'm always blowing leaves, so it served its purpose. And we'll go ahead and replace it. So I was able to get I didn't go back and get Stihl brand because it was pretty expensive. I mean, I guess for the way the length of time that it lasted, it might be worth getting it. So if you want to get the original OEM stuff, that's fine. I did the Amazon special. And we're going to see how it does. It got a lot of good, this one got a lot of decent reviews from people saying that it worked well, so we're going to go ahead and give it a shot and see what happens. And we're just going to kind of compare and contrast. And I'll put a link in the description for which one I purchased. But it looks pretty similar. No, doesn't appear to be any different than the original stuff. So we will go ahead and replace it. And it just goes. This just goes back together the way. Actually, since we've got it apart, tell you what. Let's go ahead and clean this off. Alright, so we're going to put that spade washer back on here, and I'm going to go ahead and put the plastic washer on as well. I would imagine it's going to need to be spaced out about the same as what the original was, so we're just going to go ahead and do that. And I will do the same thing with the bottom. Washer, metal washer on the outside, plastic spacer on the inside, so that they're both standing off the same distance. And then we can put this on there. Okay, so before we tighten these down, we have to space this away from the crank, from this contact point, so that it doesn't bind up. And what you can use is, I've always used a business card. I don't have a business card though. So I just took a piece of paper and folded it over twice. So once and then twice. Should give you just about the right gap that you need to be able to fit in there. Won't bind up, and you can tighten up the screws. Okay. That should do it. I'm just going to put this puller on so that I can kind of test it out. And if it works okay, then I can go ahead and put all the plastics and everything else on. But this will allow me to start it up and kind of test things out, see if everything's working properly. Make any adjustments if I need to. Okay, just need to adjust the idle a little bit on it. It was running a little high. Okay, so I think that the changing out the spark plug and the coil did the trick pretty quickly. So, so I guess the next thing to do is just to go ahead and kind of reassemble everything. So I'm going to go ahead and take this apart and give it the once over, clean it up a little bit because it's kind of grimy and greasy. Put some degreaser on it, and hopefully it'll be good for the fall season. So all through cleaning this thing up, took a little bit of time to degrease it and kind of wipe it down. It was pretty grimy. But as far as the coil and changing out the spark plug, that solved the problem. So, you know, like I said, basics of, you know, air, fuel, and spark. You know, if you don't have one of those three, that's where you need to investigate and see where you might have a problem. So if you got a Stihl leaf blower like this or the 650, a lot of them are very similar. Changing out the coil is going to be the same thing. So hopefully this video was useful to you. If it was, hit the thumbs up or subscribe to my channel. Really appreciate it, and I will see you on the next video.